Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery with Smart Money Alliance and IIMFL. We get together most Mondays through Fridays at this time at 8 o'clock Central to talk strategy, technique, success stories, and to answer questions to make sure that you're able to reach your income goals by being a distribution partner. Today, we're going to roll out our revised Affinity program, Affinity. And I believe we emailed it out to everyone yesterday, and we'll go through it on the screen here. It's a really big deal if you care to leverage it. So let's step back for a moment. We know that we're a nonprofit. We're focused on narrowing the racial wealth gap by teaching financial literacy, improving credit scores, and increasing access to capital. We have a focus on minority-owned businesses, but we're not a closed-door business in the sense that we'll help any entrepreneur that cares to participate. There are many, many different ways to generate clients for our programming, and our focus is really on the small business certification. I'm not going to bore you or be redundant in outlining what's included or the value proposition of the SBC program, small business certification, but specifically, just about every small business wants and needs capital, and we have a great way to help improve their literacy, improve their credit, personal and business, and to position them for access to capital. So with that being said, you can approach prospective small businesses almost an infinite number of ways, but probably the most effective and efficient way is through the Affinity model. And so this proposal here, we will send out normally via DocuSign to Affinity, prospective Affinity partners. So those could be churches, chambers, co-working spaces, business organizations, business associations, and so forth. Ideally, they have a membership or a sphere of influence of at least 100 small businesses. Now that's easy to measure with the chamber, right? Because they have a membership roster and they can just tell you right off the bat how many members they have. When you go to an organization like a church, they're not necessarily a congregation of small business owners, but what we know is within the general population that there's a good number of people that currently own small businesses, some that would like to if they had the knowledge and resources to do it. And then you have the forgotten few that are often the home-based businesses, the network marketers, the independent contractors who are technically small business owners, but often not counted as such. So this grant-funded Affinity agreement is a formal model of how we work with those key influencers. So let's go through that, and then we're going to answer any and all questions you have about it. You can go ahead and type those in the Q&A box, which is kind of like a chat box in Zoom as I go along. So we're contracting between IIMFL and the Affinity partner. We will state who the Affinity partner is at the bottom of the agreement. We wanted a standardized agreement that we didn't have to edit each time it was sent out. So with that, our goal is to improve, as you might expect, the financial literacy and increase the access to capital through our small business certification program. And just in case they're not familiar with it, we go ahead and explicitly give them the link to the website as well as the YouTube overview. We're going to go ahead and describe it for them through this. But what we've learned, and you probably know, is when you're going to organizations, you'll probably have an interface with one person, the executive director or whomever. But often it's a board of directors that makes the decision. And so what we want to have is this proposal / agreement being all encompassing, because you don't want to count on whomever you've talked to carry the message forward accurately. So instead, there's some redundancy in this just to make sure that whomever is reading this has access to the full story. So we give a quick background of who we are and where we came from and the award-winning curriculum that we use. and you all have heard that many times over. We do want to emphasize that our model is unique in the sense that it's a 4-week class whereby we have weekly lessons, and also we implement after each lesson. Because frankly, they could get access to the FDIC curriculum without ever working with us or working with you. But that is usually not enough to change behaviors, to improve their outcomes. So what we actually need to do is teach and then implement. And that's our model that we're explaining. You may be aware of this or you may not. We've talked about it a time or two. While the small business certification is set up to be a 4-week in duration program, we certainly can teach it in one day in person. So we can go out to the key influencer, the church, the chamber, the co-working space, what have you, and teach a group, a minimum of 20 in person, those 4 modules. So we make simple reference to that, but we don't want to distract the reader from that, because in most cases, the online is going to be preferable and you'll have more participation and thus you'll generate more income. And so then we go through here and we highlight the key benefits to the organization. Let's go ahead and go through those bullets quickly. And so this is the benefits to them, not to you, not to the individual entrepreneurs that are participating, but the host of the Affinity program. We're contributing to the economic empowerment by improving financial literacy to reduce the racial wealth gap. We're creating tremendous value for their members as we're addressing a key concern of most small businesses, which is access to capital in a proven, legitimate, and predictable way. It's a great opportunity for them to contribute to the economic development of their community, which can help create jobs, new business startups, and so forth. It's easy to work together. We're not asking them, of course, to pay anything, which I'll mention in another bullet, but it's real easy for our collaborative partners. They already have the sphere of influence. We just need their help to get the message out. It can create great PR, public relations, for their organization, which is good for them. So let's take the chamber model, for example. Many chambers right now are economically struggling because a lot of the events, a lot of the revenue streams that they had access to in the past, they've not been able to implement because of social distancing and the like. And so this is a way for them to get greater awareness with the small business community that the chamber is alive and vibrant and looking to help small businesses, because their goal is to attract and retain members to the chamber. As I mentioned, we're not charging the Affinity partner anything. We will report outcomes, so that shows that it's not just about enrolling small businesses, it's in fact about helping them improve financial literacy and increase access to capital. And it's a new revenue stream. I was talking to one prospective host yesterday afternoon, and I just can't minimize the fact that a lot of these organizations are very, very interested, of course, in helping their members, but generating more revenue for their organization. Some of them are looking at laying off people, reducing staff, because their organizational revenue often has been compromised by our economic conditions. Okay, so then we go ahead and we give them the curriculum specifics. First, we identify the problem that we're solving. The problem is that there are 3 key obstacles that keep most entrepreneurs from accessing capital. And usually that's because they don't know what the right type of capital is. They often don't meet the underwriting criteria. And often there's illiteracy. And you have to be careful, because we're not saying that in a negative way. It's kind of our society's fault, right? We've talked about this before. As a society, whether it be in elementary school or middle school or high school or most of college, we really are oriented towards teaching people how to go get a job. And what you and I are doing is a little bit different than that. We're giving them skills and strategies, knowledge and resources to create jobs. jobs, right? To start and grow businesses. And so I know without question that most small business owners don't know what they need to know to increase their likelihood of success, sustainability, let alone access to capital. And you and I are filling that gap together with the small business certification. So then we go ahead and run them through explain to them, I should say, the 4-week curriculum. And you all are familiar with this by now. We even provided links so they can sample the first 2 lessons if they want. And of course, you're welcome to do it as well. We'd love for you to actually go through the 4-week curriculum as a participant. But if you just want to audit the first 2 lessons, here they are as hyperlinks in this proposal. And then here at the bottom, we're elaborating what's included in that business plan that we're going to help them create. Because the term business plan is a little bit vague. What we're doing is creating a lender compliant business plan, and we're outlining all that's included with that here at the bottom. We have expected outcomes from the relationship. We're going to be able to provide each participant a certificate of completion, and we can co-brand that certificate with the host organization. So it has the churches, the chambers, the co-working spaces, whatever the host entity is, has their logo on it as well. So that's good PR. We're going to certainly create, as I mentioned, a lender and or investor compliant business plan that can be used internally, which is very important, but also to access funding. We're going to improve their knowledge and access to capital on a variety of topics. And I think or you should know, we're doing pre and post test on each of these modules to truly quantify that we are helping them learn. We're going to help the participants have an optimized personal financial statement. You know as well as I do, the average small business owner will do a lousy job, or at best an imperfect job, of creating a PFS on their own in most cases. And that's why it's important that we help them with that. We're going to help them improve their business credit profile, such as their Dun & Bradstreet Paydex score, as well as Experian Business and Equifax Business. Our financial literacy educators are going to help them create a financial needs analysis and a corresponding financial plan. And then we culminate with the capital match. We just did a capital match this morning on a client that enrolled recently in this 4-week curriculum. The young lady has a 622 personal credit score, but we were able to do a credit match this morning. Her first tranche capital raise will be right about $70,000, and that's projected to fund in 10 days. So we're killing several birds with one stone, as the expression is. We're certainly giving the participants needed and important and practical knowledge, financial literacy, but also we're identifying where their capital should come from. And this young lady isn't able to go to a bank with a 622 credit score, but we were able to identify a capital match for her. Now, we do clarify that after the participants, I should say, have gone through the 4-week curriculum, then if they would like further assistance, we can continue to help them with their capital raise, and we share that with you. So with our new affiliate program that we launched officially yesterday, you're going to get paid up front for each client that enrolls in the small business certification. Also, you're going to make 1% of their capital raise. If you bring us an Affinity partner, like we're looking at here, they're going to get paid off of the upfront enrollment, and they're also going to make a 1%. But you're still making money off the upfront, and you're also making money off of the capital raise. If you're one of our financial literacy educators, you have a third revenue stream available to you, which is where you're actually helping them set up the key person policy. All right, so we have easy and effective implementation. We're going to assign an account manager to each group. Once they've decided to collaborate, then essentially what we need to do is create an awareness building campaign to push the message out to their sphere of influence. That could include a press release, promotional materials, on-demand introductory webinar, and so forth. Our SBC curriculum can be taught online, which is the norm, or in person, as I mentioned before. We have financial literacy educators who are going to work with the individual step by step. So if you're just an affiliate, and I don't mean that negatively, but if you're an affiliate, then you don't worry about implementation. You just generate referrals and get out of the way and get paid. If you're a financial literacy educator or a branch office manager, you're actually involved with the implementation of the clients. So two different roles. The point here, though, is letting them know that our financial literacy educators have completed background checks and they are licensed financial professionals. So with that, then we get to the revenue share. The revenue share that we're doing with our Affinity partners is essentially built off of that new affiliate engine. So they're going to be paid $100 for each conversion up front, and they're going to get 1% of the client's capital raise. So it's just like they were an affiliate. You'll be able to bring in these Affinity partners. We'll set them up in your hierarchy where you're automatically getting overrides from the production of these Affinity groups. We do explain, and this may seem foreign to you, but I can defend it. It is not unusual that when we start talking to an Affinity partner, we realize that they have a sphere of influence of other similar groups. So pastors know other pastors. Executive directors of chambers know other executive directors of other chambers. And so what we want to do is financially motivate them, even though we're not an MLM, we're not network marketing, but we want to motivate them to help spread the word. And if you give them financial incentive, they'll do so. And so again, with the affiliate model, it pays 3 levels deep. So like Robert's on the webinar. So let's say Robert brings us the California Black Chamber. And so the Black Chamber is going to push it out to their membership. They're going to get paid as described here. And Robert's going to get the overrides from all of those. But let's say then that the California Black Chamber knows the executive director of the Nevada Black Chamber. Well, so now Robert's still getting his overrides at that 3rd level. The California Chamber is getting overrides, and then the Nevada Chamber, of course, is getting paid the front end comp. And then the last page is just the signature. So you would not need to go get signatures on these. What you would do is share this, and yes, it was sent out to everyone, but we can send it again if you need. But what you would do is you would share this with key influencers, and then we recommend scheduling a call for them with us so we can answer questions and do the heavy lifting. So you don't need to be an expert in the program. You don't need to know the answers to the questions. Just make the introduction. Think of it simply as looking for an affiliate. It just so happens that this type of an affiliate is a key influencer. And so with that, it's simple, right? You've got the agreement to reference. And so instead of doing a flyer or what have you, we prefer to approach key influencers with the actual agreement. So they probably will have everything that they need here in black and white on this 4-page document. However, of course, we want to speak with them, answer any questions they have, and gain commitment. Okay, so what I want to do is ask each of you what questions, what barriers, what concerns do any of you have about using this instrument and driving in clients, because that gets you paid and that helps them. So if you'll go ahead and type into the Q&A box there in Zoom, it's kind of like a chat box, questions, concerns, objections. Why isn't it that why wouldn't you go share this week with pastors in your community? Why isn't it, why would it be that you wouldn't share this with the chambers of commerce in your community or organizations or associations? What questions, comments, concerns do any of you have? I'm going to prod you a little bit because this is a really effective way to drive a large amount of people into the program and for you to make a lot of money. So Ahmad and Angela and Anna Marie and Annette and April and Carolyn and Charlotte and Christopher and Kwong, Cynthia, Jackie, Jennifer, Joseph, Letty, Madison, Margaret, Monique, Peggy, Peter, Regina, Rudy, Sanya, Tubby, Will, Yvette, and others. All right, so I'm looking for each of you to type in now. Please type in, this is interactive, into the Q&A what questions, comments, concerns you have. So by the time we conclude this call, this webinar in 11 minutes, 10 minutes now, you're ready to go implement. So Teresa asked, how do you approach a pastor? Take this agreement and give it to the pastor and say, hey, would you please review this and let's schedule a call to discuss how we can collaborate to narrow the racial wealth gap in our community. That's it. Will you please review this and let's schedule a call so we can discuss how we can work together to narrow the racial wealth gap in our community, or something like that. Okay, so Anna Marie, I think, is asking the same question. You just want to get this in front of them. Say as little as possible, right? Just simply say, hey, I'm with a nonprofit organization. We're looking to develop collaborative partnerships. I'd like you to take a look at this. I'd like to schedule a call with you so we can discuss how we can collaborate to narrow the racial wealth gap in our community. I mean, you don't have to use those words, but that's essentially what you're trying to do. And then use our Calendly and let's schedule a 15-minute call with them. I know some of you are very knowledgeable and you may feel compelled to want to talk more, but what I would say for this step, talk as little as possible. Your goal is to get them this instrument via email or hard copy and get them scheduled on our Calendly. So say as few words as possible to make those two things happen. And that will reduce, hopefully, your stress or your concern of, well, what if they ask me a question that I can't answer? All you need to do is say, well, I'd like to schedule a call with you to discuss this. Please take a look at this prior to the call. Peter says he loves it. It's super simple. Thank you, Peter. Carolyn says this agreement is well written and will be the perfect professional tool to use as we share this program with key influencers. Thank you. And I appreciate that. And in truth, we're not committing them to anything and they're not paying anything. So you could argue, well, why do we even need an agreement with them, right? Because they're really not paying anything. They're not being held to anything. But I'm just telling you, in most cases with organizations, there's going to be multiple people that have to be involved with giving it a thumbs up, often a board of directors. So we need something in writing to give to them that tells the story. Because you and I could tell the story to person A, you always heard the tin can on a string, but you and I could tell person A, but by the time they tell persons B, C, D, and E, it's all mucked up, right? So in this case, it's all in writing. Will ask, if you had someone whom you wanted to advertise with, can you comment on that? Maybe you could re-ask the question, Mr. King. I don't completely understand what you're asking, but yes, you can advertise this. We've hired a call center to contact organizations, associations, and chambers to promote this, and it's going really well, and that's why we're bringing it to you now, because it is going really well. Okay, and Peggy's asking a little bit of a variation. So she's asking, how does a branch manager get paid by bringing Affinity partners on? And so that's a great question. She has two already to bring on, which is perfect. So remember, as a branch manager, we're doing a 50-50 split with you, right? So what's going to happen with the small business certification is, let's scroll down. You, Peggy, as a branch, you're going to get 50% of the $396, which is the cost for the 4-week curriculum, which is what, $198. So you're getting the $198, And then part of that you're sharing with the affinity partner. The rest you're putting in your pocket. So it's pretty much 50-50 between us and you, and then pretty close to 50-50 between you and the affinity partner on the front end. And then on the back end, as a branch, you're making 5% of the capital raise. But if you're paying out 1%, what is your net? Well, Peggy, you're making 4% on the back end. And then if you're set up as a financial literacy educator, then you're also writing the key person policies. So to summarize, Peggy, as a branch, we're doing the 50-50 split with you. You're paying out a small portion of that to the affinity partner, and you're making the majority of it as profit. Hopefully that answered your question. If not, fire back. Jackie asks, can you explain the benefits of this approach for those same groups versus them becoming branches? I would never, and you may see it differently than I do, Jackie, I would never, ever, ever approach a chamber of commerce about buying a branch license agreement. I would never, ever, ever approach a church about buying a branch license agreement. So there's distribution partners that are keenly involved, that's doing personal financial statements and writing policies and all of that. And that would fall into a traditional distribution partner like a branch office. Here, we're looking for key influencers that's going to drive volume in. So to me, it's very, very different. I would never approach these key influencers about becoming a branch office. That's not who they are or what they would want to do, but they do often have a sphere of influence of small business owners, entrepreneurs. They want to help them, and in many cases, they want and need to generate extra income for their organization. All right, let's see. Yes. So you would use Calendly, and our Calendly now is calendly.com/ and then IIMFL. Kwong says, can we schedule an appointment to talk to your pastor? Absolutely. Yep. So go ahead and share this with your pastor, Kwong, and then use calendly.com/ I missed an I there, didn't I? IIMFL, and get it scheduled. It'll be perfect. So again, no offense to anyone, but say as little as possible to share with them this agreement, hard copy or electronically, via email, and to schedule the appointment. Christopher says, looks good, thank you. Charlotte says, simple, very good. All right. Okay. So are there any other questions that anyone has about you becoming an affiliate, recruiting affiliates, getting trained and supported as an affiliate, or ultimately the topic today, which is how to use the affinity agreement to essentially hook your hose to a running faucet? That's the expression we use. And that says, great program, well needed, thank you. And yes, Carolyn, so those of you that want some scripting, we can help you with that our call center is using with success. It took them a little bit of time to kind of finesse the scripting to get it going, but I will tell you that it's painfully simple, right? So let's go ahead and just go through it now. So let's say that Carolyn is the executive director of a chamber, an organization, or an association, maybe of a co-working space. If we see that her organization has some sort of focus on working with minority-owned small businesses, that's ideal, but not a requirement. And so our call center would ring, and Carolyn would pick up. It would say, well, hi, my name's Tom. I'm with the IIMFL, the Institute for Improved Minority Financial Literacy. We're a nonprofit organization, and we're looking for collaborative partners to be able to to narrow the racial wealth gap by teaching financial literacy, improving credit scores, and increasing access to capital for minority-owned businesses. I'd like to get your permission to send over a document that would share how we'd like to collaborate with you and to schedule a call in the near future. So that wasn't real polished, but that's essentially what we're doing. All right, let's see. Joseph, yeah, so I think there may be a seat or two left for this Friday's training. Get with Jennifer. Absolutely, get with Jennifer, because she's going to confirm if there's any seats left. She'll work out payment arrangements with you. And yes, it's crucial. Now, of course, branch managers come to the training for free. It's not free for others, but it's about a break even of one. You don't have to come to our in-person classes on Fridays, but it is very helpful. We spend 8 hours together, shoulder to shoulder, eyeball to eyeball, and really embedding these processes so you have the confidence and competence to go back and implement. So yeah, Joseph, just get with Jennifer and she can make sure we have room, collect your payment, and get you set up. Anna Marie asked, how much does an affiliate get paid on the Affinity program? So Anna Marie, what we'll want you to do is make sure you go to the career page of our website, IIMFL. At the top, there's a link, and so you can get set up as an affiliate, which is free. Also, that link will break down the comp levels by tier. So if you'll go to the career page of the IIMFL website, you can get the tiered breakdown commissions for being an affiliate. And Sharon's asking, right, this is not tied to money that's going to run out, right? So yeah, there's not some limited time offer or some concern that this won't be around. And yeah, Robert, just get with Jennifer and she can make sure that you have this. Anyone that doesn't have a copy of this grant-funded Affinity agreement, just get with Jennifer and she can make sure you have it. All right, well, we're 1 minute over, so let's summarize and then we'll break for today and we'll be back tomorrow morning. So what do we know? We know that most small business owners want and need capital, but they have some barriers that's keeping them from accessing capital. And we actually clarify that right here. You can certainly help individual small business owners all day and every day. You just feed them in as an affiliate. We'll drop them into our drip marketing sequence. We'll close them and you get paid. We'll give you a free landing page if you'd like, so you can drive them in. They're automatically coded to you. And again, they're plugged in. So if you need the free landing page, get with Jennifer. She can help you with that today. The focus today is how to effectively approach, by using this reference document, key influencers, churches, chambers, co-working spaces, organizations, and associations. Share this with them. Schedule a call using our Calendly. We'll do the heavy lifting. You get paid. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. We'll see you back tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.